Good morning and welcome to Bears Talk Today. My name is Justin Evans along with my co-host Mike DeFrancisco. And today we're going to talk about I just want to give my condolences to the Carolina Panthers for the massacre that happened yesterday. And we're going to give flowers to the Panthers owner and organization for our destroying of the Carolina Panthers yesterday. But in all great news, though, we won. We had a dominant win, 36-10, and we're going to talk all about it. But before we do, Mike, is there any, things we should work on, negatives that you saw in yesterday's game?
Well, I want to shout out also the kid that brought the sign with the details of the Bryce Young trade on there. Seeing that and then seeing the final scorecard of 36-10, it just really brought it brought some light in my life, some needed optimism. So good for that. Listen, this game was pretty much perfect all the way around. I do have one minor complaint because I have to be that guy. I have to say one minor complaint.
Wow!
The rushing game, still not there yet. Right, DeAndre Swift, 21 carries, 73 yards, only 3.5 per carry. I know Tevin Jenkins left in the middle of the game with an injury. Similarly, on the other side, Chuba Hubbard, though, 13 carries for 97 yards, ripped that 38-yard touchdown early in the first quarter. Pretty much ended up being their only score. They kind of got a field goal towards garbage time, but that's really it. Other than that, I thought the Bears played a really, really good game of football. Their offense was really good. Their defense continues to be phenomenal. Special teams made plays. And you know what? This is the type of game that we've been wanting to see from the Bears all year. Last week against the Rams, it was a close game. They made enough plays at the end, but we haven't seen a from start to finish truly dominant game like we did yesterday all year.
Yeah.
And, we talked about this Panthers game being a quote-unquote freebie, right? A game that the Bears needed to come out in. They needed to look like the better team. You don't want to keep the Panthers around. You want to have a comfortable lead. And that's what they did. That is exactly what they did. After the Panthers scored their touchdown, it was all Bears the rest of the game. Again, like I said, they played well on all three sides of the ball. So very, very encouraging win, I think, for the Bears yesterday.
No, and I agree. I mean, we've preached this all, for pretty much a whole podcast series. You have to win the games that you're supposed to win. And this was a game that coming in, we knew that we were more talented. We had a better offense. And we came in there and we stood on business. And I think definitely when you do that and it instills confidence, this is our second win in a row. Hopefully we'll go for 3 wins in London. Chip, pip, chip, cheerio.
What the heck? All right. Well, you need to work on your accent.
Yeah. But no, going into the positive, Caleb Williams, 20 of 29, 304 yards, 2 tutties, and no interceptions. Now, yes, the Panthers' defense is not that good, but to not mess up is a great thing either. Yeah. And I just thought he just played. 20 of 29. It's not like, oh, my gosh, he had an electric game, but it was a smart game, right? He made the plays. He made the accurate throws he was supposed to make, and he seemed calm and collected, which
Yes.
Go ahead.
Game is like it's slowing down for him a little bit.
Yes.
You saw him calling out some stuff in the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
He was going through his progressions. He's not trying to force the ball down the field, but what was so encouraging about yesterday was he was connecting on those deep shots, right?
He was,
the one to DJ Moore with Mike Jackson in man coverage, threw a perfect pass, and that's kind of the one element that we've needed to see from Caleb, where the last couple of weeks, he's been more in his element. He's not turning the ball over. Second straight week without a turnover for Caleb Williams. That's winning football, by the way. But, we've been like, okay, you're doing the little things. Let's hit those deep shots. Well, he was doing at USC. He hit him yesterday, right? He had the crosser to DJ Moore, which was probably a blown coverage assignment that he took advantage of.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, what wasn't terrible coverage by Michael Jackson, the Panthers' corner. He just gave DJ Moore a shot, put it in a good spot. So I thought this was Caleb Williams' best game of his career.
Okay.
And it's encouraging that I've said that 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, right?
His progress so far has been linear.
Yeah.
Started off, it looked rough against Tennessee, and it looked rough against Houston. But, against Indianapolis, he made a couple steps. And then last week against Los Angeles, he made steps. He took a few more steps yesterday. So I could just continue to be encouraged by the progress that Caleb Williams is making. He's being asked to do a lot right now. He's calling out protections. He's making audibles at the line. And he's doing it, with not a whole lot of a run game. It's not like he's got, the Lions running backs as his support or whatever. Very, very impressed with Caleb. Again, another 300-yard performance. He's the first Bears rookie ever to have multiple 300-yard passing games. He's done it in 5 games.
Wow.
Very encouraging. Completing 20 of 29, I believe that's about a 68% completion if my mental math is correct. So just playing winning football.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing. We don't need him to go out there and throw for 400 yards.
No.
We mentioned it in the Texans game. We don't want him throwing 50 times a game. That's not the recipe for success. He's throwing the ball at a good rate. He's completing a high percentage of his passes. He's keeping the ball out of harm's way. And he's making plays. So now we're cooking a little bit with Caleb Williams.
We are cooking. And you said you don't want him to throw for 400 yards. I think I do only see you paint your nails. I
sound like my mom. Yeah, I sound like my mom.
I just want to see it so we can get as many viewers as we can.
Yeah. I'll do it. Listen, I'll do it happily. All right. I have no
Hey,
issues.
That's great. That's awesome. But yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I think definitely. I love the linear progress that Caleb is making, and I think we're going to continue to see that throughout the season. I saw a stat yesterday that he's already 44th all-time in Bears.
Which is incredibly sad. 5 games, that is incredibly sad.
And I'm curious. I think he'll definitely get the top 10 or top 20 before the season.
I was going to say, you might get top 10 by the end of the year.
Yeah, he definitely will. Yeah. So very excited to see his progress, but he was not the only one that was tortured up the field yesterday. How about DJ Moore?
The former Panther, man. A little revenge game. Who doesn't love a good revenge game, man?
Oh, yeah,
perfect.
For sure. Yeah.
He had 5 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns,
Jeez.
Both of which I mentioned were big plays from Caleb Williams. That was one of the things about this offense that I thought we hadn't seen so far this year.
Yeah.
Was, I guess, the big plays from DJ Moore. And there was a lot of speculation on the internet that they weren't getting along. And who cares?
Crazy.
They connected on 2 big plays yesterday, which were huge. Again, the blown coverage, like I said, from J.C. Horn. I think he had man coverage, and he wanted to pass it off, but he didn't have help on that side of the field. And then Mike Jackson, who, again, had pretty good coverage, just a perfect ball and a great catch by DJ Moore.
Yeah.
This is what I like to see. I like to see DJ Moore involved in this passing game. He is our number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
Roma Dunze is great. Keenan Allen's great. Cole Kmet is great. Don't even mention Gerald Everett. But DJ Moore is far and away our number 1 receiver. And, when you have a number 1 receiver like that, you want to see him involved in the offense. You want to see him put up 100 yards or more a game, multiple touchdowns. Now, is he going to have 100 yards, 2 touchdowns every game? No. But I was very encouraged by the productivity yesterday, taking advantage of a subpar Carolina secondary, him and DJ Moore. That's the key for our offense to take that next step, is for him and DJ Moore to continue to be on the same page and continue to connect on those deep plays.
No, I agree. I mean, this is why we signed him for that extension, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he is our wide receiver one, and I'm very glad that him and Caleb Williams are starting to get on the same page, and I think with more time will be even better. So great all around, and I think he had a phenomenal game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to shout out Cole Kmet also as well, who's becoming more of a part of this passing game. DeAndre Swift is a nice receiving back as well.
Yeah.
I had 47 yards receiving yesterday. And then Roma Dunze, 5 catches, only for 40 yards. But, he's a rookie. That'll kind of come. I think, he'll have peaks and valleys. He'll have games where he's really good and then games where he only has 40 yards, which I'm not super concerned about. There's other weapons on this offense. But we can't just spend the whole review talking about the offense, Justin.
No.
We have to talk about the defense.
Yeah.
And I have to shout out my man, the big boy, Gervon Dexter.
Yes.
5 sacks already this year
Jeez.
From an interior lineman. He had a fumble recovery. I mean, he was just all in the face of Andy Dalton and Bryce Young yesterday.
Yeah.
He was causing havoc. And there's something so special about a dominant interior defensive lineman.
Yes.
They just ruin. They're the closest to the ball. They can just ruin plays.
They can, yeah.
He is, he's wrecking plays right now. He's wrecking games. It's amazing. I know the Bears, were criticized last year in the draft for not taking Jalen Carter. Well, right now Dexter's playing better than Jalen Carter, right? And you got, Darnell Wright in the first round as your right tackle. So I want to shout him out. I think he's been playing phenomenally. For my money, he's been the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL this season. Maybe that's a bold take. I think the stats in the film would back it up. And then, of course, we have our defensive backs as well. Kevin Byard got an interception. DBs were playing lockdown all game. When the Panthers' leading receiver was Jalen Coker.
Yeah.
That's how you know the Bears DBs had a pretty good day.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And not to forget Jaquan Brisker, man, gets knocked out in the first half, returns, and knocks somebody else out for a fumble. I mean, you can't make this up. And
he got a little Peanut Tillman in him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I loved it.
Like punch.
I
like it.
It was something that, like I said, both sides of the ball for the Bears played really, really well. And I And this is what we expect. I think our defense is definitely a little bit better than our offense right now. I think we're still going to be growing into our offense. But to see that our defense is still holding up, it's pretty good. So.
They've played pretty consistently all year at a top 5 level. I mean, we're, a little more than a quarter way through the year. They're playing at a top 5 level week in and week out.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what will help the Bears down the stretch where games where their offense, falters or, they're turning the ball over or whatever. That defense, I think, is a steady presence that they're going to need throughout the rest of the year.
Very much so.
Speaking of steady presence, or I guess lack thereof, offensive line, they play pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we might have been playing against the JV team.
Yeah.
In the Panthers. Their D-line, not that good. They traded away Brian Burns. Derek Brown is out for the rest of the year with an injury. But when Caleb Williams doesn't hit the turf, it's a good day.
Yeah, right.
And
no sacks.
He didn't get sacked at all today. Part of that was just his athleticism, running around, making plays.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that, you do have to give credit to the protection. It was better today. And as loud as we have been and as vocal as we have been negatively talking about them, we got to give them their props. They did pretty good yesterday.
They did. And, I mean, I saw a tweet that was like, an NFL team's an NFL team, right? Yeah, the Panthers aren't the best team in the NFL, but, I feel like our Bears O-line did a great job of protecting Caleb. Like you said, there was a couple of plays when he literally dodged a Panthers lineman.
He is incredibly twitchy.
Incredibly
twitchy.
He is, which is useful, right? We know that Caleb is no Lamar Jackson. He's not mobile, but at the same time, he's able to escape defenders and still make a play, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
I mean, I give our offensive line a little bit of credit. I think we'll definitely see, once we go up against these tougher teams to see how it'll really improve or not. But I do think it's a great sign to see that they can actually protect Caleb, and Caleb should be saying, hey, hopefully this is like this all the time.
Yeah.
We shall see.
This is the games where those linemen get those good Christmas gifts come
yes,
December.
Yeah, the watches.
The Rolex.
The Rolexes, the
I
golf
saw
carts.
Mahomes bought his guys golf carts last year. So, these are the type of games, man. You keep my jersey clean.
Yeah.
We're going to have good times at Hallis Hall.
They're going to Benihana's on him. So.
Hey, listen now. He still got that rookie contract.
You're right.
Don't go too crazy.
You're right. Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. I guess one other negative we need to discuss. Matt Pryor got ejected.
Oh, yeah. That was
kind of, I think, instigated by the Panthers more than anything
very
else,
much so.
Because we scored late. We were already up so big. The game was out of hand. I guess things just got chippy.
Yeah.
There was a little push and shove in, maybe a punch or two thrown. And it's like, dude, at that point in the game, just stop. Like, you're up. Nothing good is going to come from you, going that extra mile, going that extra step.
Yeah.
I understand it's football and the competitive juices are flowing and the anger's pumping through the veins. Just chill out. All right. We don't need you getting any trouble. We don't need you getting suspended. We're already thin enough at offensive line.
Yeah.
We don't need to cause any more trouble. So, again, not going to, lean on that. Not going to just talk about that the rest of the episode, but let's cut that out. All right. Yeah. We're not the Packers. All right. We don't. Boom. Got him.
I got him. I agree. Now let's move on to our questions. Now I know in the beginning we talked about both the offense or defense, but I want to ask you, Mike, did the Bears offense win this game or did the defense win this game for us?
Obviously it'd be easy to say the defense won because they held the Panthers to 10 points. Realistically, they held them to 7. They kind of got the field goal in garbage time. But I'm going to say that the offense won this game. I mean, they were truly just dominant. There's no other way to put it. They were dominant. They marched up and down the field on the Panthers. And I think there is something to be said about the defense having that positive energy from what the offense is doing.
Yeah.
They have confidence that the other unit can go out and do their job and help the Bears win games.
Yeah.
It allows the Bears defense, number one, to catch their breath. When the Bears sustain these long drives, all those big boys are, got the oxygen mask going and they can actually get their breath back. But also it's like, hey, we did our job on the offensive side. Now we just got to go take care of business on defense.
Yeah.
Instead of the defense having to constantly, make up for what the offense is doing. I thought the Bears offense, again, played a great game. When you scored 36 points, it's a good day. You're going to beat most people except for maybe like Joe Burrow. But no, I thought the Bears offense, I think they won the game this week. And I think, hats off to everybody involved in the offense. They did a good job. And again, this is what you should be doing against a team like the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
There are not many freebies in the NFL. There are not many, absolutely must wins. This is one of them. And you have to take advantage, and the Bears did that. But I ask you, Justin, despite, I guess, the lackluster opponent, do you think that this was a statement win for the Bears so far this year?
Yes, and the reason why I say that is because like I said before, these are games that we are supposed to win, right? And the NFL team is an NFL team despite if they're the best team in the league or the worst team in the league. And you know what's crazy about social media? If we were to, like, lose this game, it'd be, oh, Caleb's a bust. Oh, Caleb's this. So it's like –
God forbid Justin Fields would have won yesterday.
Yeah, right? Yeah, then it would have been even worse.
Yeah.
So, yes, this is a statement win for us. I think this is the most dominant one we had all season, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we'll definitely have more, hopefully. But, yeah, it was a statement win. We came out there and we punched them in the mouth. We scored early, and they never scored again, except for, late garbage time points. But, and this is what will give our team confidence and hopefully to continue to go against weaker opponents, which really after the Jaguars. Oof.
Not a lot.
Yeah, there's not a lot,
not a lot
right?
of weaker opponents left.
Not a lot of freebies left in our schedule, so definitely this was a statement win, and I definitely think this will help us continue the momentum as we travel across the pond next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, let's go into our next question. Obviously, we talked about Caleb, so we'll bring that back. It's kind of a two-parter for you, Mike. Did Caleb Williams have his best game so far, and is Caleb Williams and DJ Moore's chemistry improving?
I think yes to both, and I think that's encouraging for Bears fans. Like I've said, like Caleb has had this linear path of progress so far, and we all know that progress isn't always linear. Yeah. So there'll be games where he falls a little bit, and there'll be games where he spikes up a little bit, I hope. But no, I think that he is continuing to get better week in and week out. I think the game is moving slower for him. I think he's slowing down mentally. Early in the year, especially against like the Titans and the Texans, he was rushing throws. It seemed like he didn't always know where his protections were, everything like that. He seems more in control. He seems more in command of this offense, and that's allowing him to go out and be spectacular, be what Caleb Williams is, which I think is great. And then talking about DJ Moore, obviously DJ Moore had his best game of the year by far, so it'd be easy to say on that alone that their chemistry is improving.
Yeah.
But I thought, last week was big when DJ Moore talked about that there was that miscommunication on the go route, and that DJ Moore said it was my fault, and that they were going to talk about it. And clearly they worked something out, and clearly they had meetings. They understand that they need to be on the same page. They need to be in sync with each other. This offense, better or worse, is going to flow through those two.
Yeah.
So I think they fixed it. And, say what you want about Justin Fields. Him and DJ Moore clicked all year. I mean, that was the one big positive of the Bears season last year was him and DJ Moore's connection. And I think Caleb Williams, it's taken them a few weeks to kind of get to that point with DJ Moore.
Yeah.
However, DJ Moore and Caleb Williams seem like they are on the same page now, which is incredible. And that's absolutely what the Bears need. And I'm going to ask you, again, speaking of the defense, we know how good our offense has been yesterday and how good our defense has been all throughout the year.
Yeah.
Do you think our defense can play like this, like a top 5 unit for the rest of the season?
I think they can. And I hate to give our coach credit, Eberflus, but I mean he's a defensive-minded coach, so I think definitely with that experience, some of those points come in there. But I mean, even against Houston and some of the better teams we've played this season, I mean we've given quarterbacks trouble, and I think because of that gives us the confidence to be able to go into games where we're playing Super Bowl contenders and NFC contenders to really challenge them. Even if we let up a couple, even if we allow a couple of touchdowns in the game, I think that having that confidence to say, hey, we can sack Brock Purdy, we can sack a Jalen Hurts a couple of times, and I think that gives the Bears confidence to be able to go in there and still win games. But yeah, I definitely believe our defense can hold up like this. I think we have the right players and kind of the right pieces in line for this to happen. Yeah. And I hope it continues, and I definitely have a lot of confidence to believe that it will continue.
I'll say this: I think for as much flack as we've given Matt Eberflus, he's deserved most of it. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
He does know how to call defense.
Yeah.
Like that is his side of the ball, and he absolutely knows what he's doing on that side. This defense is really, really good. You got players all over the field. I mentioned, Dexter, Sweat on the defensive line. Darrell Taylor's been making plays. DeMarcus Walker. Linebacker-wise, we have Sanborn and Edwards and Edmonds. And then, our DBs, I think, are some of the best in the league. Jalen Johnson is a stud. Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Kevin Byard, Brisker. They've all made big plays this year. So this defense has the personnel. And like you said, I think that Eberflus has the schematics to take this defense to continue to be a top 5 defense. I don't think, we're on some Mickey Mouse fraud watch. I think this is a really good defense.
Yeah.
Listen, and all 5 games, they've had 5 good to great games, right? There has not been a game where I think the defense has let us down. And that's crucial in the National Football League. It's really hard to win games when your defense is allowing 35, 40 points, which is what we are about to talk about in a few minutes about a defense that does that. But we have another question for you, and this pains me because I guess I'll have to answer it too.
Yeah.
How much credit do we give Matt Eberflus or Shane Waldron for this win?
I'm going to give more credit to Matt Eberflus than Shane Waldron, only because, like we just talked about before, right? He is a defensive-minded coach, so we know coming in that he has the experience to be able to slow down teams and cause havoc for their quarterback, whoever's playing us, right? When it comes to Shane Waldron, congratulations, you got a E for effort. No, seriously, I think I will hold off on giving Shane Waldron any kind of credit until we actually beat a good team.
Fair.
And, I think definitely he has, ever since I believe Caleb and some of the other offensive players had that chat with Waldron, I think definitely I've seen some signs of improvement. But, we have to beat the good teams in the NFL in order to really say, hey, Shane Waldron's not actually a person we should fire.
Right.
And I think until that happens, I'm still kind of on the fence. But I do give Matt Eberflus some credit for being able to, hold an NFL team to, less than 10 points or, just to 10 points.
Yeah, 10 points, yeah.
But what are your thoughts, Mike?
Well, I have to give Shane Waldron credit for not sabotaging.
Yeah.
That hasn't been something he's been doing this year. But like you said, after the chat, this offense has looked noticeably better. I mean, they've had their best game in back-to-back weeks. Last week, they ran the ball really well against the Rams. This week, Caleb was highly efficient. They got DJ Moore involved. So, I have to give him credit. He has not been the Shane Waldron, we were talking about in the first few weeks of the season. He's been noticeably better. And, listen, you're right. Matt Eberflus is leading this defense to complete dominance. Shane Waldron had this offense, like a well-oiled machine yesterday. Yeah. So I have to give them credit. As much as it might pain me to say, Justin, I have to give them credit. They coached their butts off yesterday. But your point is absolutely correct. It's one thing to do this against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
It's another thing to do this against the Lions, the Packers, Vikings, all teams in our division. By the way, I saw a stat today. The NFC North is the only division of football with all 4 teams being over 500.
Wow.
I mean, we're 3-2, Packers 3-2. The Lions are 4-1, I believe. And then the Vikings are undefeated.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers almost got him yesterday.
Almost got him. Yeah.
Almost got him. I thought he was going to do it in London, but no, the Vikings are still undefeated. Let's go ahead and jump right into our Week 6 preview. We're talking about the Bears. We're talking about the Jaguars.
In London.
Top of the morning. No, I don't know.
Top of the morning.
This game is in London, and now I did hear that the Bears are going to make an early trip out to London. I heard they're actually leaving today for London. Which I kind of like to get their bodies kind of set, the time zone, across the pond. They got the bye week coming up after London, so might as well enjoy the trip. But the Jaguars are coming off a game yesterday in which they won their first game of the year. They're 1-4. They beat Joe Flacco by a field goal.
Heck yeah!
And Joe Flacco, man, shout out Joe Flacco. He's just gonna spin it the rest of his life. He's gonna be like 70, still throwing bombs down the field. I mean, one of my favorite players ever. Anyways. Talking about the Jaguars. Now, this Jaguars team, they've struggled mightily this year.
Yeah.
They got embarrassed a few weeks ago in Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely pantsed. They come back. They lose a nail-biter to the Texans a couple of weeks ago. Yesterday, they win a nail-biter against the Anthony Richardson-less Indianapolis Colts. When you look at this team in the Jacksonville Jaguars, you see a lot of talent. Right, this isn't the Panthers. They have guys.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby has been really good. Brian Thomas, their stud rookie wide receiver, has been fantastic. On the defensive side of the ball, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. They gave up 35 yesterday to Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just chucking it down the field. So, in my opinion, the key to this game, you need to score points on offense.
Yeah.
Do what you did against the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
You need to score points because this Jaguars team offensively, while they're not the most well put together group, they're not the most well-oiled machine, they have a lot of talent.
They do.
And, we saw that yesterday putting up 38 points. Brian Thomas broke free for an 85-yard touchdown. He's fast. So this Bears team, obviously, we're probably a better team than the Jaguars. But they got dudes. I think the key to this game, Justin, is our offense.
Yeah.
You need to take advantage of this bad Jaguars defense who is missing some of their best players. Now, they do have good pass rushers. They're a little bit Texans adjacent where they have a couple good edge rushers in Joshua Hines Allen and Walker. But they're not Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter like the Texans have. You need to let's calm ourselves. They're not all pros, right?
Mm-hmm.
They need to score points. Yeah. And I think they need to score a lot of points. And I would like to see another efficient game from this Bears offense.
No, I agree. Our offense has to score, but I'm going to go in the defense mind. I think definitely we need to contain some of the matchups here. You have Lawrence versus Williams. You have ETN versus Swift. And I think ETN is a little sneaky guy who can kind of get through those get through those runs, and I think definitely containing Trevor Lawrence, sacking him a few times, being able to slow down ETN is what is going to get us a win, honestly, right? And just how we talked about the predictions last week in against, it was Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton's a veteran. Sure, it's Trevor Lawrence. He's way younger, but he's considered to be a quote-unquote veteran, and he's pretty good, even though his team's not performing well. I think definitely we cannot let up just because they're 1-4, and I think because of that we have to contain Lawrence. I know he's definitely one of those guys who can definitely throw it down the field or get a couple of short gains. So I think definitely containing him and ETN is also going to be a huge one as well. And then I know the Jaguars have some questionables that may come back. Daniel Thomas, Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram really hasn't played all year. He's been kind of missing.
Yeah, which
MIA.
MIA. I don't know what his injury is.
I think it's an ankle, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, I know Ben Strange, their tight end they took in the second round a couple years ago. He scored a touchdown, but Evan Ingram's been a big loss for them. I also want to say another point that I think people aren't talking as much about. This is as close of a home game as a team could get for an international game. The Jaguars have played the most amount of games in England.
Yes.
They are geographically the closest to England.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, much more of a burden for the Bears. They haven't played an international game. It's been a couple years, I think, since the Bears have played. So, for a guy like Caleb, and the rookie, that's why I think it's so smart that they're leaving early. Kind of get themselves in the routine, get their bodies acclimated to that time zone. But the Jaguars are used to it, right? They actually played back-to-back games in England last season. So they're used to it. Wembley Stadium is kind of home turf for them. But I do want to talk about another thing that I think is, I guess, a pressing concern for the Jaguars. I think Doug Peterson's on the hot seat.
Definitely.
Doug Peterson, he has been struggling. I mean, I think before yesterday they were like 0 for their last 9. I mean, they got some stuff to figure out in Duval. I mean, they've been struggling mightily. I think their defense, I think one of the reasons they got absolutely pantsed by the Bills, they just ran man coverage all game.
They did,
I mean, it was like man coverage, and Josh Allen was like a kid in a candy store. He was just picking which receiver he wanted to throw a touchdown to. So there's going to need to be some changes. I mean, yesterday they got torched by Alec Pierce. No offense, Alec Pierce, but like Alec Pierce, right?
Really.
This is a game I expect DJ Moore to have a field day. I mean, I don't think there's a guy on the field, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, that you want one-on-one with DJ Moore. And I think Caleb is going to have to take advantage of that. And listen, they're going to need to be on the same page. There's going to need to be some well-timed throws. But I think they can beat the man coverage that Jacksonville is going to run. But no, I think there's a lot of dysfunction. They paid Trevor Lawrence $250 million.
They sure did.
He's not playing like a $250 million quarterback. I'll say that. And I like Trevor Lawrence. He's coming off his best game of the year. I mean, did he deserve that contract?
Yeah.
Tank Bigsby has taken over a lot of the carries and a lot of the volume from Travis Etienne. Trevor's his brother in college. But I think this Jaguars team, they have a lot of question marks. They have more question marks right now than the Bears do.
Yeah, they do.
Not to say the Bears are perfect, far from it. But again, this is a team that early, before the year started, I thought this would be a fun matchup. The Jaguars have not at all lived up to my expectations. I think they've been very dysfunctional. They've been one of the more disappointing. I mean, they were the last team in the NFL to get a win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wild. So, I think the Bears should win this game. If we're going to jump into predictions, I'll go, give me 27. No, don't give me 27. Give me 30-17. The Bears.
All right, and I agree with you. I feel like if we get out early, we can win this game, and we will win this game. Jacksonville has been struggling all season long, and I definitely think when they play against good teams, they're going to struggle. And we're technically a good team. We have good players on our team.
Above 500.
We're above 500. Yeah. But I definitely think the prediction that you mentioned is accurate. We should come out there and we should beat their butts early, especially with Jacksonville struggling. But I will say for my score prediction, let's go 35-10. We're gonna repeat. Ooh. Yeah, because I'm this is why I don't gamble, because my parlay would probably be all the way wrong. But we already hit one struggling team in the mouth. Let's hit another one, because literally after that is the gauntlet.
Yes.
Commanders, Cardinals, Patriots.
Yeah, Commanders who are great. The Cardinals who just beat San Francisco.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. And then it's like what, division game.
Well, we have we're home against the Patriots on November 10th.
So we have a bye week. Okay.
And then it's bye week after that. Then we're
no, I'm saying the Patriots are a bye week.
Oh,
that's what I meant. Yeah.
I love that. That. Packers, division. Super Bowl, NFC champ last year, 49. Yeah. It just does not get easier. So let's get a 3-game win streak going, so that way
let's stack as many wins now in the early part of the year, right? So that come playoffs, we're like, okay, well, we had 4 from earlier.
Right. So definitely, I believe that we'll win this game, and I think this should be another statement win for us. Let's go hit a struggling team in the mouth again.
Yeah.
So,
How about a 3-game win streak? That'd be pretty nice.
3-game win streak.
That'd be pretty nice. I would love it. I think that would just do such wonders for the momentum, the vibes in the locker room, the vibes at House Hall. Again, we got the bye week after this week. If you can go into the bye week with a 3-game winning streak, I think everybody feels really, really good.
Yeah.
And then they come out and they play the Commanders, you said, after? Yeah. You play the Commanders. They're a good team. They've been really, really good this year. But they will have that confidence knowing, hey, we're 4-2. We're on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah.
We're having our bye. We're going to rest up, get healthy. I think that it would do wonders for the rest of the year for the Bears to go into London, have a good performance, maybe give Trevor Lawrence a haircut. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, let's win this game. Let's take care of business, and let's get on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that wraps up our show today. Thank you so much for watching. All the likes, shares, and subscribes are greatly appreciated, and we're happy to bring you more content and excited to bring you more stuff coming soon. Please follow us on our socials, Bears Talk Today on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all of that fun stuff. And like I said, we're hoping for a Bears win for next week, and we hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.